So, you've got a patch of mold on the wall. And the first thing that comes to mind is I'll just grab a can of paint. It seems so easy, right? Just cover it up, problem solved. But what if I told you that simple active painting is often the first step towards a much bigger and way more expensive problem?
Does this sound familiar? You spend your weekend redecorating, the room looks brand new, and you feel great. You finally sorted it out. But then, a few weeks, maybe a couple of months later, you start to see it. Those little dark spots, just bleeding right back through the fresh paint. It is so frustrating, but believe me, you are not the first person this has happened to. And look, this isn't just an opinion. This is a cold, hard fact known by pretty much every building inspector out there. This one simple mistake, covering up the symptom instead of actually treating the cause, it just kicks off this chain reaction that costs people a ton of time, money, and a whole lot of stress they just don't need.
Okay, so why does this supposedly quick fix fail so spectacularly every time? Let's really dig into what paint is doing, and maybe more importantly, what it's absolutely not doing.
This right here really gets to the heart of it. On the left, you see what we hope paint will do. It hides the ugly stain, makes things look clean, for a little while anyway. But look at the list on the right. It doesn't kill the mold. It doesn't fix the moisture issue. It doesn't change the temperature or the airflow. It's purely a cosmetic fix for what is actually a biological problem. And this is the crucial point we really have to get our heads around. Mold isn't just a bit of dirt on your wall. It's a living thing, a fungus, and it's basically a giant flashing warning sign. It's your house telling you, hey, the environment right here is wrong. We have a moisture problem. You see, mold is pretty simple. It only needs 3 things to thrive. And guess what? Painting over it doesn't get rid of a single one of them. The moisture is still in the wall, the temperature in the room is the same, and get this, you've just given it a fresh meal. A lot of paints actually have organic materials in them that mold just loves to eat.
Now I know what you might be thinking. But I'll be clever. I'll use one of those special mold-resistant paints. Well, this is another really common trap. People think these products are some kind of silver bullet, but that's a total misunderstanding of what they're for.
Here's the deal. These paints are meant to be preventative, not a cure. You're supposed to use them in places like a bathroom or a kitchen where you already have good ventilation controlling the humidity. Using this stuff on a wall that has an active damp problem, it's kind of like taking a vitamin C tablet to fix a broken leg. It's just the completely wrong tool for the job. It doesn't fix the real injury.
In fact, active mold growth will literally destroy your new paint job. It will grow right through the paint film, it'll cause those ugly stains to bleed through again, and it will actually break down the glue that holds the paint to the wall. All that bubbling, peeling, and flaking you see, that's not a bad paint job. That's a sign the mold is winning the fight.
So if it's not really the paint's fault, who's the real villain here? Well, the true culprit is the underlying moisture cycle in our homes, something that often changes with the seasons.
This is the classic cycle of failure, and it's so predictable. We tend to decorate in the summer when things are warmer and the walls seem perfectly dry. But then autumn comes. We shut our windows, the humidity inside goes up, and by winter, condensation is forming on cold surfaces. And just like that, you've created the perfect 5-star resort for mold, and boom, it's back, right through your lovely new paint.
And this cycle almost always happens in the same predictable spots. Think about your own place. Those cold corners on the outside walls, the areas right around your windows, and of course, the classic spots with no airflow, like behind a big wardrobe or in a bedroom that's always shut up. These are the front lines in the war against mold.
Okay, so we've spent a lot of time on the problem. Enough of that. Let's talk about the solution. Because there absolutely is a right way to deal with this, and it all comes down to doing things in the correct order.
But first, let's just quickly talk about why getting that order wrong is so darn expensive. Because that cheap can of paint you use to cover the mold, well, it's actually one of the most expensive mistakes you can make in the long run.
You see, you're not just paying for paint and brushes over and over again. You're actually letting trapped moisture eat away at the plaster underneath, which can lead to huge repair bills down the road. What started as a little surface problem can become a major structural failure that means stripping the wall right back to the brick.
So here it is, the correct way to do it. The single most important thing to notice here is that redecorate is step number 5. It is the absolute last thing you do. First, you have to play detective and find the source of the moisture. Then you fix it. Then, and this is key, you have to let everything dry out completely. Then you clean away the old mold. Only after all of that is it finally time to pick up a paintbrush.
All right, as we start to wrap this up, the core message is really this simple. You have to fix the cause of the fire, not just keep painting over the smoke stains. And honestly, this matters for reasons that go way beyond just how your walls look. Because that constant moisture doesn't just mess up your paint, it breaks down plaster, it can rot timber, it can actually harm your home's insulation, making it colder and harder to heat. And over the long haul, it really does impact the structural durability of the building itself. That little patch of mold is a warning sign you really can't afford to just cover up.
So, the next time you're faced with a patch of mold, just ask yourself this one simple question. Is this paint job a real permanent solution? Or am I just slapping another temporary layer on top of a problem that's only going to keep getting worse? The choice is all yours.